Hello everyone, and welcome back. So we've just haven't already seen it. We've just talked about the Graf Zeppelin, the setup, what it is that's new about the ship, what makes it unique, that type of stuff, the build, the layout. Now we're just going to go into a random battle or two. We'll see how we get on, and I'll showcase how I would use it in battle. So let's go. As of right now, we're using 1-2-1, so that's a single fighter, 2 torpedo bombers, 1 dive bomber, and we're looking basically to cause as much pain as possible, and that's what this ship is. It is a strike carrier with a fighter, so it's best described as being, almost to a counterpart of the Lexington, but I feel it's even more strike-ish than the Lexington because it doesn't have as much ammunition, doesn't have as many fighter plane reserves, but it is vicious with its attack, and its fire planes, although fragile and although limited in number, they're like a glass cannon with their punch, so they're really, really powerful. So matchmaking has been very favourable to us. We have tier 8s. Okay. Tier 8s, 6s, 7s, 8s. There's an enemy Zeppelin on the other team. Don't know what setup this guy is, although by hovering over I can tell he's probably the identical to myself. So he's 1-2-1. And cruiser-wise, we need to be concernful about the Kutuzov. Here, hold on a second. We'll put on some in-game music, shall we? Right. So over here. So the planes load quite quickly on the Graf Zeppelin. We'll see that the torpedo bombers are ready very, very quickly, and you'll see that their drop is actually quite limited in the duration and length they've got. And you can basically queue everything up and nothing conflicts. So like, it's not like all the planes are ready, so you have to choose, oh, do I want fighters first or I want torpedo bombers first? No, you can launch the torpedo bombers, dive bomber, and then fighter, and they don't overlap each other, so you can get everything out. In this scenario, you can see now that all the fighters are up, and I only have 5 reserves. And that technically should be 7, that's a mistake currently in this build, and that will be fixed. But you can see how few fighters I have already in this game, so I need to be quite careful with my fighter planes. In terms of torpedo bombers and dive bombers, I have lots of reserves of planes, so I don't have to worry too much about that. What I'm looking for is there's 2 enemy destroyers, and I'm looking to see if anyone can test any of these capture points. And maybe I can go interfere with these enemy bombers, but he's flying straight into cruisers. You'd think they'd be okay. Or is he just going to try and drop them right away? Yeah, he is. No one has a defensive fire. Okay. Let's see if I can't catch that fire. So if I clip him from the side, you can see the strength of the fire plane. I've only clipped him for like a split second, but it did, well, like half a wave there. So like, well, 4 plane kills. So what we see, both destroyers, they're going to go south down to A, which means they're not going to be going north. And I'm looking for a target of opportunity that I can go attack. Preferably a battleship. I mean, those are the ones that are more likely to suffer from AP bomb damage, and we got a couple of German battleships that we can go after. But I'm just kind of cautioning patience, because I know there's a New Orleans here, and I know there's a Kutuzov there, so they're going to be creating kind of AA bubbles that I don't want to fly into, especially with the fighters. So there's a Scharnhorst, we see that on the minimap, and there's the Tirpitz as well. That's fine. So we know they're in this area here. There he is. Now the issue is, he's in a division with a New Orleans. So the New Orleans is probably babysitting this guy. Oh, Belfast. Well, I don't know if the armor-piercing bombs do anything to a Belfast. Let's go find out. So this is what I mean by left-clicking. That's too late. I don't think he's going to clip it. And he's smoked up. Not sure that hit him either. And this is one of the knife-edged elements. See, I'm already out of ammo, and when you lock into a strafe, you're flying in a predictable path, and it makes you super duper vulnerable to being counter-strafed. And because we only have one full fire wave each, if we lose it, that's it. You know, we will suffer for the rest of the game because they can bully us for the rest of the game. Now, I probably can't go for that Tirpitz because the New Orleans is in the way. And until the New Orleans dies, it's not a go. So what we can do instead is perhaps bully this Nagato, which is what we're going to do. And I could micro the bombs and get a better drop, but considering I'd rather micro the torpedo bombers... Ooh, hello. Now he probably only has a single strafe, so I'm going to spread out here. So 23k from 4 bombs. And we get a little bit of panicky torpedo drop, so that's what, 3, maybe 4. Had we dropped the second wave better, we probably would have killed him. But he came in with his fire planes and he had 1 fighter strafe left over, so we had to be careful of that. And he tried to do it, and he clipped a few planes, so not the greatest. But in terms of turnaround, I'm microing the bombers so they don't fly on top of the Tirpitz. The Tirpitz no longer has his New Orleans backup, so we can totally bomb him. We'll get the fighter back out as quick as we can. I'll slow down so my bombers can catch up to me. If the Hood doesn't kill the Tirpitz, which the Tirpitz can torp, so that seems actually really dangerous what the Hood is doing. Well, anyway, the point is he's vulnerable, and if not him, I could possibly go after the Belfast, or I can go back for the Nagato or the Fuso. Yeah, we totally didn't see that coming now, did we? Okay. Well, we're trying to get the Destroyer, but if he keeps his speed up and keeps turning hard, he'll be fine. Okay. I guess we'll go after the Tirpitz. Got rid of those fighters. That's great. We'll move up somewhere around this Destroyer just to give it a little bit of sight. I'm going to group the torpedo bombers before I send them in. Boom. Right. We'll probably manual this dive bomber rather than just left clicking on it, and hopefully we can kill him without having to use the torpedo bombers, and I can use the torpedo bombers on, say, the Belfast or Nagato, that type of stuff, because he is losing quite a bit of health. That's reasonable. This overlap on the sides. Well, the Belfast is slowing down and smoking, so we could probably pick him off as long as the Chapayev doesn't have AA range on us. Ah, what a waste. Well, I was anticipating that strafe, so he's flown straight on top of the Bismarck. I've now able to got the torpedo drop in. He's strafed again, so now he's down to 1 strafe, and we'll kill this guy with our torps. He only has a single strafe, so he'll probably fly back and rearm. I'm going to turn around just in case the Chapayev goes all the way around, because that could be awkward for me. I'll support this battleship in our north, because he seems to be the only one really fighting everyone up here. Get him up. Let's see if we can't mess with these bombers that are trying to come in maybe for our destroyer. We can possibly go after the Fuso again. Well, if the Bismarck YOLO's in like that, of course he's going to die. But the Fuso is vulnerable, the Scharnhorst is vulnerable. So there's plenty we can possibly do. We just need to be aware of how close is he and how soon his fighter's back to, you know, mess with me, because a single strafe can wipe an entire wave, so you have to be kind of careful in that respect. The nice thing about the dive bombers with the circle drop pattern is that they can totally approach from any angle. That's nice, and if you just left click on the target, you don't have to worry about him turning and then kind of avoiding at the last moment. Let's play the Blaviska in the cap. Back off here for a brief moment. Got him. See how powerful that strafe is? That means I can bomb. Oh my god. The guy wants to TK me. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. Obviously, he's not happy with my performance this battle. What's he called? Donner Groll. Fantastic. Hopefully these torps will finish him off. Yep, great. Now we'll work on the Scharnhorst with the one torpedo bomber we've got. Maybe try and force him out of the cap. One torpedo wave is not going to do the greatest amount of damage. And I'm trying to drop further back because I want the front torpedo to connect. This front torp here. Ah, he's turning quite a lot. Maybe I'll force him out of the cap though, so he won't do anything. Nothing on the nose. Flying a bit too close to the Chapayev. Wow, this guy really wants to kill me off. Oh, this is going to be interesting. He's really angry in chat as well. I didn't even see this up here. Oh, hello. I guess it's time to use Hydro and secondaries. This is amusing. I wasn't exactly expecting this to happen. Oh, and the Hydro comes in handy. Look at that. I'll send the dive bomber after him. Oh, that's cute. I think I need to use damage control party because I need to attack this guy. No bombs. That's RNG for you. Full wave of 10, no bombs on the cruiser. I suppose I could have manualed it better. Let's get the secondaries locked on him. Oh, we're on fire again. That's not great. Oh, he's turning hard. That's going to make this awkward. Oh, look, he's TKing me again. Hooray! And he can't torp to save himself. Wow, man. This is a classic game. Fantastic game, man. I mean, we tried. 163k damage. We got 4 kills. And we're surviving some suicidal TKing tendencies right here from this Donner Groll. Oh man. This is terrible. Let's grab that. Send him after the Chapayev, perhaps. Defensive fire. So, we've told our planes to auto-drop. Do we get a Kraken? Left clicks. Maybe I hit the Chapayev. Maybe not. Kraken. Okay. So that was an interesting game. Perhaps I could have focused more on the team in the center, or maybe I tried to prevent some bombing, maybe I tried to prevent some scouting on the Fusion, who got really angry for whatever reason. But we tried this game. We'll definitely play another. We'll play another game. We'll do 203. But you can see the strengths of this ship. That we were able to strafe the enemy fighter wave and kill it off, and that allows us to kill off the Fuso. The dive bomber can either do no damage, such as the Nuremberg, or it can do lots of damage. How was I playing this game? I was probably extremely dissatisfied with this game, given the nature of how I had to survive a TKing attempt. So, this game had everything. We used our secondaries, we used our Hydro, we got a Kraken kill, we outplayed the enemy carrier in terms of fire control. Probably could have done a bit better in terms of keeping the enemy blind, but we have one fighter wave and we want to go after targets. We don't have 2 fighter waves, so we can't really protect the fleet and protect our bombers, so it's kind of eh. Plus we had one guy who wasn't helping the team at all and was trying to TK us, and then we still managed to get 5 kills and 166k damage. So yeah, that was interesting. Okay, so 1-2-1 is how I would typically prefer to play this ship. Okay, so we've done one game. Let's go. Actually, tell you what, I'm going to end this video, cut it, and then we're going to go straight into a second battle with 203, but that'll be another video separately on YouTube. So here we go. I'll just do that.